I started my social media journey on Instagram back in 2017, and it really took off. And I was inspired because there were so many great healthcare providers on Instagram sharing their journeys. Dr. Kat, Dr. Mike, that created so many opportunities for me to grow my own personal business, my own personal brand. It's landed me on, news and TV and magazines. I'm so thankful. It's been a wild journey.
In terms of growing a practice or starting one, what advice would that be?
If you want the best results for yourself, you have to drive.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Dental Dialogue, now where we chat about everything to do with dental marketing. Today we have a very special guest, the owner of Green Valley Smiles Dentistry, Dr. Bianca Velayo. Welcome. Thank you very much for joining
Thanks
us
for
today. How
having
are you
me.
doing?
I'm great to be here. Thank you.
Just as David spoke about just before we started recording, your social media account kind of popped off. Like I believe I saw your account and it was very different to the other accounts that I see in dentistry. So we were very intrigued to have you on and see like your opinions and your thoughts on how you're kind of setting yourself apart from everybody else.
So, a little bit about me. I started my social media journey on Instagram. So that's been my main platform. And I started that back in 2017. As 2017,
Okay.
2018. And Instagram was such a brand new social media platform. And it was great, a great time to get in because content creators, influencers really had the ability to have a reach without fear of it being diminished or your content not really getting out there. So I was really glad that I started when I did. And I was inspired because there were so many great healthcare providers on Instagram sharing their journeys. And I thought some of my favorite ones like Dr. Kat or Dr. Mike, what I loved is that they were obviously so professional, but you could also see, snippets of their personal life. And that's what attracted us, their followers to them. It's not just so serious. It's also, you get to see the person behind the white coat. And so that's what inspired me to start my own page. And I knew that when I started my Instagram page, I had to have a central focus. And so my central focus was going to be, I had this concept, it was called Oral Health Minute. And so back then, Instagram was all about videos. Oh, sorry, no, it was all about photos, static
Yeah.
photos. And I was the first person or one of the first early adopters of 1 minute or less video. So that was even before Reels became a thing. So I
Wow.
knew that patients' attention span was really short, and I wanted to just give you a quick dose of education and combined with some entertainment that I knew that anyone would really, it was easily digestible, whether you're a dentist, a dental student in healthcare, or just looking to be a patient. And that really spoke to my style of how I treat my patients, which is, I try to make everything really relatable and easy to understand. And so, my goal was I was going to release one oral health minute video every week and then sprinkle in just fun stuff about me, dentistry. And it really took off. I'm so thankful because, again, I was able to build a following where now I know it's like really hard to do, even if you have amazing content. And it gave
Yeah.
me this, really great audience, and it created so many opportunities for me to grow my own personal business, my own personal brand. It's landed me on, news and TV and magazines. I'm so thankful. It's been a wild journey, but now I have two kids. And so after having kids, it's just been hard to keep up. And I hate to say, but the juice hasn't necessarily been worth the squeeze because it's not as monetizable. And like I said, you're putting out this great content, but it's not going as viral as, other, because the algorithm has just been so difficult. And so I had to make a tough choice. And so, I didn't want social media to continue to feel like work. So I just post what speaks to me. And I love being a mom.
Yeah,
I do like being a
yeah,
business owner. So my posts have just been changing and evolving as I've evolved.
yeah. I think
Okay.
that's great. When it's especially about personal brand, we should always post what also, let's say, resonates with ourselves and we can actually enjoy creating. did that change for the people that watched your content? I can
Mm.
imagine that they actually enjoy it because they see even more of your personal side, the person behind it, or even your patients who can see and actually, yeah, enjoy living their personal life. And that's, I think, is a big thing where the patients, yeah, especially in dentistry, they see them often, the dentist, as like the one person that is very hard to connect with, or they're afraid. And how did that change for you then?
Of course, there's some people you're going to lose followers because they loved the videos. They loved Oral Health Minute. But I still have been able to retain a good bunch of them and attract more people. Now I use social media more as like a proof of concept or just almost like a business card. Like this is who I am. So it's great for patients because they get to see exactly like you said, a little bit more, feel a deeper connection towards me and gives us something to talk about. I've attracted new patients because now I look less intimidating to them. And it's
Yeah,
even helped with
exactly.
even like recruiting, like dental students graduating, they get to see who I am already and they're interviewing me before they even get to pick up the phone and say, I want to make an interview with you in person. So it's
Yeah.
now working for me in a different way. So it's been fun.
Yeah, that's what we
Yeah.
always say, that there's like two different strategies for social media. The one strategy, on one hand, you can do it to gain patients, and it's a little bit in the way that which you started off, to get a lot more attention on you. And the second is more in terms of retention, or to build some kind of rapport with people who already have you there, or to just, yeah, as you said, to show yourself in a better light, as a business card, essentially. And I think it's good to have a little bit of both. And that's what I see that your account does have. You still post a lot of dentistry focused content, but we get to see a bit of your personal life, which I think a lot of dentists are afraid to do. Would you agree?
Yeah, I see so many dentists that have two accounts. They have their personal account and then they have their professional accounts. And, for me, I said right off the gate, if I'm going to do it, I'm only going to do one. I can't keep up with two. And of course, I mean, you have to be very mindful about the way you post,
Hmm.
and it's nice because people like to see that you're a real person. You have the same challenges
Exactly.
that they do. You have your kids poop, like we're not
Mm.
superheroes, even though we sometimes have to, fix people's super problems, but it's nice from the relatability standpoint, but also, we're not going to be showing partying. You're not going to be,
Hmm.
I like to be mindful about even just the content because what's the image that you're trying to portray. And if I can share on close friends and like if there's something that I really want to show off to people that maybe I might find a little inappropriate for my patients or general public followers, like it just makes you second guess, and that's okay because then I'm like, do I really need this in public? So
Yeah,
it's
in the
been a
first
really
place.
good like maturation tool. You're in your 20s, you're like, I want to show off. I want everyone to see how cool I am, all the things that I've got. And so I really appreciate just having that mindset shift. I'm like, it's okay to like enjoy your successes in private. You don't have to share everything. Look how ripped I am. Look how all rich I am. Like no one needs to see those things. And it's actually been cool to have a more quiet enjoyment of success. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean
it
that's a
does.
that's a
It
huge
does.
benefit, sure.
Yeah.
But
And what, go ahead.
I was going to say, I was going to completely change, but I was going to say, you harped on a little bit of, there were some potential negatives of social media. Did you go through any kind of dips or bumps across the road, apart from switching the type of content that you have?
Sure. No, I mean, I've been so thankful that I've had a really pretty positive experience with social media. Of course, I've had a couple trolls here and there, but not as extensive as I've seen other people's pages get really attacked. I guess I've always tried to be very selective the way that I approach. Like I know I purposely try not to post a lot of like controversial topics because I'm like I'm not the type of person that can stand the heat, and like
Mm,
I know social media is not for everyone, but if I'm like I didn't really want to talk about like hot topics so much, whether it's fluoride or drug use or whatever that or dentists
Yeah.
can wear their swimsuits, right? Like, and I was like,
Mm.
I choose not to elect in some of those fields, and so, sort of just deliver content that I knew would be fan favorites. So that's just my approach. But I know without taking that risk, I'm sure I also closed down some of my potential to even go like super viral. So for example, I've seen other pages that they're okay to talk about the hot topics because they know it's clickbait. They know that's how people are going to find them, and it's paid off big time because now they have tens of thousands and hundreds of thousands of followers. So I've just kept it really PC, and it's worked really well for me. I didn't want to
Yeah.
be too polarizing with much of what I post,
Yeah, it
Yeah.
really depends on how you want to be like regarded by like your colleagues or whoever. Like for example, I remember one of my professors showed me back then, the dentist. The
Um,
he's like the biggest, I think, dental influencer. He's the guy with the huge eyebrows and the
oh yeah, okay, yeah, yeah.
and
The funny
he
videos.
yeah,
Yeah.
fun videos, and of course he will monetize that like really really good. But also my professor back then, he showed it to me, since we always talked about social media, and he said like it's nice, but on the other hand, he said I couldn't take him serious as a colleague. Like if we talk about serious topics, or we have to answer like some questions, beyond just treating, but in the research, he said that is really where you as a doctor have to decide which direction you want to go with your content and who you will address with it. Yeah.
Absolutely. So that is one of my big pieces of advice for anyone who's looking to get started, because you do need to have a very focused idea of like, if I'm going to create content or if I'm going to start my social media page, who is my target audience? And I think the more focused that you are, the more successful you're going to be. And of course, if you're just doing it for fun, then there are no rules, but it's easy to sort of get pulled like, am I trying to be funny? Am I trying to be serious? Am I going to be controversial? Am I trying to be all personal? Am I trying to be all
Mhm.
educational? And so what followers are looking for too. They subscribe for a specific reason. And the more focused your content is on your page, I think that's really helps people grow.
Yeah.
Yeah. How how did you educate yourself on social media? Like I can tell you definitely know a lot, and maybe you read up a lot, or you watched some YouTube content, or was it just along the way that you just started and then you kind of developed the knowledge?
Well, I think, my husband is a musician. So my husband's a musician. I'll give him a plug. His band is called Crash Midnight. And so he does a lot of social media for his own page. And so he's the one who taught me everything about how to make a page, how to get followers, how to get exposure. But also I'm a dental practice owner. And so being an entrepreneur, I think automatically that part of your brain where you're like, okay, I'm going to analyze my competition. Who am I looking out for? What seems popular. So I think just being aware of trends and different strategies. So I am a little bit of self-taught, and then of course the different articles that just um, you know taking in all the resources online where they're trying to teach you about the different algorithms or the hashtags that were working, or geotagging that was cool at the time. Now I really, really don't care. So it's so, but it's fun. I'm glad that I've actually, it's nice to give myself a little bit of not having that pressure anymore with social media.
Yeah.
Because now it can be fun again.
Hmm.
Yeah,
And that's what
I
it
think
needs to.
that's exactly like when you do it for a long time, and I think people underestimate the social media production, like everything that is behind it, the research. And that's also like for us with our former brand, where we got a bit tired about, because we also realized that everyone else is going in the direction of personal brand. Like when you said before that you switched, I think that's anyway the best road to go down. Like let's say you can always do small pages if it's really just for business to just be present, but really put the work, the main work should be put into a personal brand, because it doesn't matter what your life will change to, you can always take it with you as well. Yeah. So
Yeah.
In terms of, you
I
said, please carry on.
Oh no, go for it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in terms, before you said that you take some inspiration from other people on the market in terms of social media. Have you also kind of transfer that across to how you do business outside of social media with your practice as well, in terms of helping you
Absolutely. I
grow that?
mean, yes, I think that what you see on my page is absolutely who I am outside. And I think that being authentic, like not taking yourself too, like, so a couple characteristics about me that I'm trying to portray on my page and who I truly like to think I am in real life as well as, the hashtag I have is called Dr. Boss Mom. So, and,
Mm,
I'm not defined by being a dentist. I love being a dentist. I'm very proud of being a doctor, entrepreneur. It's allowed me to learn so much about myself, and obviously provided me and my family all these opportunities. But being a mom, and so I think that that's that. All the different aspects of my personality has allowed me to be successful as a mentor, as a I have a couple different businesses as well, and just combine my passions and the different layers of my personality in there. So,
fantastic, great. Is social media the only marketing you're doing currently for your practice?
when it comes to dental marketing, I would say the biggest, easiest thing that I always tell other practice owners that you can do is just ask for reviews and word of mouth. So social media is something that I do for fun. It wasn't necessarily
Mm,
um, designed to get patients because I already had like really great patient flow. So if I were to give some advice on how to grow your practice, I would say number one, focus on having a good dental practice. You have to be a good dentist. You have to have a good team, and once you have that, then start asking for reviews. I have this Bianca is I say never let a compliment go unnoticed. You have to get social, online reviews, Google, Yelp, health grades, whatever it is. And also, asking for word of mouth referrals. Truly, that's like the least expensive and most effective way. Things like social media, Instagram, YouTube videos, at least for me in my
mm,
market, and what I've done with my patients and in my community, um, that thankfully has all come secondary, the social media and the YouTube videos. Um, so yeah, just focus on your craft and get some online reviews because that's what people are looking for.
Okay,
100%.
so do you actually just tell them like after they give you compliment, or in case, or do you just ask them after every treatment, like if they like the treatment or enjoy like being around in the clinic, if they could just write something, or how would that look?
Absolutely. I train everyone on my team. I remind them every morning at our huddle, never let a compliment go unnoticed. I do contests. So right now we're doing contests. So every review that our team members' name is mentioned, they get a little bonus. And if we reach a certain milestone, we get prizes. Because it's like I said, that's free, basically free marketing. And so then everyone's super on board. We have QR codes, like business cards that have QR codes linked to our Google. And so everyone has that in their pockets. So they know to hand it out. We write our names on it so that way they know who to write. And then, yeah, at the end of every visit, if you just listen, patients are complimenting you regularly. Again, that's why step number one to growing your practice is have a good business, and
Mm-hmm.
then naturally patients are going to compliment you. You're so nice. This was so easy. Everyone's so friendly. Wow, I love this technology. Thanks for getting me in. You just have to listen. If you listen, then you can slide right in and say, I'm so glad you had a great experience. Thank you for that compliment. We're right. If you're able to write a review, if this was a 5-star experience, it would really help us grow. And I have a Google card right here for you. So just teeing it up. But you have to get in the habit.
Yeah, you just
Yeah.
dropped some gems that I think everybody should really implement in their practice. We also made a
Yes.
short about this like on our Instagram profile, talking about, putting in QR codes in the practice, having cards available that at least every single time that you do a good job and somebody says something good about you, you can just show them the card. Look, this will really benefit our practice if you give us a review. And something also that
Mm.
we've never mentioned before too. What we say is that we try to tell you practices to incentivize getting reviews by giving something back to the patient. So we run Google review campaigns. But what you can also do is incentivize your own staff to get reviews for you, so that on both ends there is that kind of willingness and that incentive to do that. That's really amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And is there a
And
specific person in your practice who wins all the time, or?
Mm, and most recently, my assistant manager won. So no, it's everyone. Everyone wants to
That's
help the
good.
team win. Everyone wants those bonuses. So it's been great. Everyone's pulling their own weight.
Fantastic.
that's great. And just another question regarding, you said you also have different businesses. Is it everything towards dental, or do you just in general love just opening businesses in different niches?
Sure. So I have a couple of dental practices. I'm partnered with a group in America. It's called Pacific Dental Services. And so I own a couple practices here in Las Vegas. What I do is I'm a mentor. I'm a proud mentor. I find young dentists and they work as my associate, and I teach them dentistry. I teach them business, and when they're ready to become a partner, then I help open that practice with them. So I have four total. I'm opening another one at the end of the year with one of my other partners. So it's really cool to be part of their journey. And most recently, my most recent venture is called Vegas Influential Professional Social Club. I started it with two of my best friends that I met on Instagram. So just talking about how Instagram has really changed my life. Dr. Audrey Sue and Cassandra Cares. Those are their hashtags, or sorry, their Instagram handles. We met on Instagram. We became friends because we're both all doing healthcare pages, and we all live in Vegas, and we decided to meet up, and it became a genuine friendship. And that was sort of that spark that inspired, like, wow, we should do this. Like, we should do meetups for other Vegas local professionals who want to come hang out, who are like-minded, and like to have a good time. And it's less than a year old, and we have a following of a couple hundred. So it's been really cool. We take, young professionals, and we show them, and we do these events, like the coolest spots in Vegas, like coolest venues, lounges and whatnot. So it's really, really cool.
That's
Nice.
nice. And in those occasions, you also then talk business, also is it just entertainment?
It's what I like about it. And what everyone has told me that they like about it is, of course, networking is going to happen organically, but that's not what's the forefront of it. So it's just focusing on just having a good time, building organic relationships. But yeah, people have started doing business with each other because of it, introduction. So, when you're passionate, as we are in this convo right now, like we're all passionate about what we do, we're professionals. And so, like I said, other like-minded people, you can't help talk about work, your business, and it helps to do business with other people who have the same passion and focus. And also, like I said, going back to who I am, don't take yourself too seriously. We're still moms, human beings, regular people that make mistakes, go to the gym, have relationships. And so I think that's what's nice about it. It's truly just people being their authentic selves, and growing together.
Great.
Yeah, that
Great.
sounds really amazing. Like I mean, I know it from the dental congresses that this kind of things are happening, like networking, and I often enjoy it, but it's just a few times per year. But I never actually heard of groups like that in dentistry, especially because oftentimes people are competing in the same area, and then they put it in front of rather meeting like colleagues to actually benefit from each other. But I think that's a great project, and yeah, hopefully it will grow. And maybe one or another person will hear about it, and we of course will also put everything into the description if anyone is interested.
Yeah, that'd be great.
So what are your plans then? You're acquiring more and more practices, you're mentoring more and more young doctors. What's the plan for the future?
Ooh, loaded question. Right now, I'm actually I feel like I just closed out one chapter of stress. To
Mm,
get to this point, of course, is not without its challenges, heartbreaks, and sleepless nights. And so right now I'm just transitioning, because I knew that what I was doing was really unsustainable. You know, like you can't be living life so stressed. You can't be running 100 million miles per hour and it's affecting your health and your relationships. So thankfully, I feel like I just closed out that chapter. And now I'm just trying to figure out how can I keep up with all of this intensity and all these projects that I have, but enjoying it, you know? And so like, and unfortunately, you know, as you saw on my Instagram, that meant a strategic decision to maybe pull back from my social media. So now I'm reprioritizing where am I putting my time, energy, efforts, and you know what's guiding those decisions are going to be passion and financial. You know, because time is not perfect. Time is our most expensive resource. So me just trying to devote my energy into, you know, the ventures that are going to provide me maybe the most financial benefit, but also that give me the most excitement. And so yeah, so that's pretty much it. Just really focusing on my businesses. Excited to see where VIP Social Club goes. Enjoying watching my kids grow up. I have a 5-year-old and a 2.5-year-old, and I'm happily married. And so just really wanting to give them all my time and energy. But I'm not slowing down. I'm not slowing down. Just excited to see what opportunities present itself.
That
Great.
sounds really good. It's very inspirational, really, to be
Honestly,
honest.
yeah.
Like, yeah.
Well, I think
Thank
you've
you.
given us a lot of really fantastic advice. If before
Yeah.
going, if you were to say one thing, maybe something that you like, one piece of advice that you could give, that you'll probably give to one of your mentees in terms of growing a practice or starting one, what advice would that be?
If I could give a piece of advice to one of my mentees in terms of growing the practice or starting one, what would that be? I have, if you go to my Instagram page, I do have my link tree, and I actually have a couple articles that I have written over the past years featured in dental economics and stuff like that. So I do have some good resources there. I actually highlight some of the things we share here, how to grow your business. So if I can think of one that I think that has really helped me all throughout the years is being really involved in my business. Of course, I'm part of a group, but also for those who maybe be solo practitioners, you end up building a team around you. And so there's so many people on your council, and it's easy to sometimes maybe let other people drive, you know, but my best advice is that if you want the best results for yourself, you have to drive. You have to be the driver. And so what I mean by that is I'm super involved. Yes, I have, you know, marketing team, but I'm not afraid to do hands-on marketing, right? So that's why I did my social media. I didn't need it, but I wanted to because I know it's that extra that really distinguishes you. Yes, I have my marketing team, but I'm not afraid. I always am a walking brand for myself. I always carry business cards, toothbrushes, and I wasn't afraid if I saw an opportunity to do like a health fair or, you know, be present at a marketing event. I physically would do it because that really makes a difference for the patients to see in person and talk to the person that's going to potentially be their dentist. That makes worlds of a difference versus your marketing person handing out your card and trying to advocate for you. So I would say, you know, recruiters, and we have recruiters, but I also like to do my own recruiting. That's how I can get the best people because I'm vetting them. I'm already showing them from day one. I'm in it with you. You get to meet me. So yes, I'm the CEO. Yes, I'm the president, but I think just being on the ground in every aspect of my business, especially in that startup phase, has allowed me to be so successful.
Fantastic.
Amazing. Yeah, thank you so much for this, yeah, for all of the experience that you shared with us, with all yeah, the advice that we could also take or can take away from this. Yeah, for everyone else, like in general, all the information will also be in the description. We thank you so much, yeah, for sharing all of this, and yeah, don't forget to like, also subscribe. And yeah, we will definitely see where your journey will go because it's super interesting. It's very inspirational. And who knows, maybe in a bit of time we will do episode 2 and catch up.
Well, I would love that. And thank you so much. And good luck to your new podcast. I look forward to chatting with you soon.
Perfect.
Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.